So I've just come off a lesson teaching my dad actually how to hit driver a lot longer than he was doing, whilst also maintaining his accuracy. Now, we worked on the concept of the swing circle, which is super valuable. It basically is going to help you to figure out how to make solid contact every time, but more importantly, when you come through, it's going to help you to figure out how to generate more power and distance without losing accuracy. How many times do you try and hit the driver a bit further and then suddenly all goes wrong? You start hitting it all over the place, you lose your strike. What you're going to see in this video is exactly how you basically do both. You increase distance but maintain accuracy. Now, before I get into the video, look, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. I release videos just like this one every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus, you never have to remember a thing. I always put a free downloadable practice guide in the description box below. So in the first part of this video, let me help you hit driver straight. And in the second part, I'll show you how you can increase your distance by a significant amount. It's easier than you think. Now, when you're playing golf with a driver, it's slightly different than you do with an iron, okay? Now, I didn't know whether you realize this, but whenever you swing a golf club, you are creating a circle with that club. So as I swing the club back like this, and then I swing it down, and then I swing it through, you'll notice there's a circle being created. Now, a circle has a center and a maximum radius. Now, that center of your circle is directly underneath your lead shoulder, where your lead arm and club form a straight line like this. That is your center of your circle. Where that low point is, we call it low point in golf, where that low point is very important. Now with an iron, we catch the ball before the club gets to the lowest point of the circle. But with a driver, it's different. With a driver, we catch the ball actually right at the bottom of that circle, or even when the circle's actually heading upwards. So we actually hit it almost on the way up. Now, to do that, with a driver like an iron, we position the ball much further forward in our stance, opposite our lead heel. We still have a bit more weight over on this lead side, but what we do is we have a small little kind of side bend away from the target to set that driver swing off, okay? Now, from this angle, from actually down the line angle, you also create a circle. And this is a really good angle to see your swing from, because this is what I call the accuracy circle. My question to you is your circle angled in the right way? So if you look at mine here, when I swing back, I create an arc back, an arc through, and I also create an arc on the way through. This creates a circle on an angle. If you slice the golf ball, like my dad actually in a recent lesson, his circle was angled too far to the left. Combine that with an open face, and my dad created this big slice and a big loss of distance. If you hook the golf ball, your circle is more likely to be angled too much over this side, okay? Combine that with a closed face, and you've got yourself a hook, right? So the question is, and this is where most people find the problems are, the question is, are you set up to produce the circle that you need? So let me give you an example of this. My dad comes for a session and he's slicing the golf ball. His circle's angled here. What did we do? Ball position is still forward in his stance. But all we did was this. I asked him, is your body helping you create the circle that you need? And it wasn't. His hips, his knees, and his shoulders were all aiming left of target. What's that going to create? You got it. A circle that goes left. What did we do? I simply got his knees, hips, and shoulders, not straight actually, because he needed to exaggerate to start off with. I actually pushed them extremely here, so that if anything, we exaggerated it to try and encourage him to do completely the opposite, to create a circle that went out over this way, yeah? The results were amazing, okay? We started hitting much straighter. However, he went on the golf course a few days later and he said, Danny, I feel like I'm getting it sometimes, but I'm losing distance. I'm not getting hit as far as I would do normally. So I got him back in the studio. I'm going to show you that video at some stage in the next week or two. Got him back in the studio and we worked on this. And this is the next element. So once you've set up to create the circle in the right place, body positions in the right place, then you do this. And this is the first part on how you add power to your drive. Now, what my dad was doing, he was creating the circle, but he was only creating it just with his hands and his arms. What you've got to remember is you need help with the power. Your body's got to create it. Now, your shoulders also work on a circle, like this. My dad's didn't. In fact, this lead shoulder receives so many golfers who didn't barely move at all. So all I did was this. I got him, I actually put a club down and I got him to move his lead shoulder here down to this position. That's as simple as that. Does two things. If my lead shoulder moves down into this position here, what's it done? It's extending the length I can take this club back, and not only that, it's helping me create a better circle around here. If I don't move the shoulder, I've got a very tight, short swing, no power generated. So, simple as that. Make sure your shoulders also help and work on a circle. Get that lead shoulder working down and across here. Now I've created more energy, I've stored more energy at the top of the swing. Now we've got extra power. That's all I did with my dad. So get yourself set first. This is the first step to power. Get that lead shoulder, imagine moving it to here. That's what I did with dad, got him moving it to here, extend it, create the circle, and I promise you, you'll notice huge more distances just from that one thing alone. Nice and simple, a smooth swing, easy as that, and look how straight that is. You create a consistent circle, you'll create a consistently straight shot. So that was the first stage. Get that shoulder working in a circle so that you can increase the length that this arm moves back. You're going to store more energy, you're going to hit the ball further. So the first part of that really kind of increased Dad's distance, but this second part was a game changer. So he was now creating this wonderful circle on the way back, but he kind of spoilt it a bit on the way through. Like I see with a lot of golfers, he got to impact here and he starved himself of room. His elbow started to crumple, he got a bit wristy here. He just looked awkward. What he needed to do is we don't want to have a tiny circle this side, we want a big circle. So we needed this lead arm and club, which is the radius of your circle, to stay intact from there all the way to there. So for this lead arm and club almost to stay intact all the way, what do you think you've got to do with your body? Well, you've got to get it, look, out of the way. Notice how my body's extending upwards and almost backwards a little bit in order to provide room for this lead arm and club to kind of stay a lot straighter, almost in line. My dad wasn't doing that. He, which like so many golfers, was staying down through impact here. There's no room, look, so what you do is your arms basically don't want to hurt themselves, so they kind of crumple up, they start to get wristy. What I told him to do was, I said, look, let's create room, Dad. So I asked him the same question, what would you do? And he goes, he just went straight into it, naturally got into extension. But I did add one final thing. I said, Dad, you have to excuse me on this. I said, squeeze your nuts together. So when you're coming through, suck your belt buckle underneath you and squeeze those nuts together here on the way through. So you're really kind of adding that kind of space and upward motion here of the body versus staying down. Now, when he did that, this is kind of what happened. He got himself there, he started to work on this, and he went, that feels good, that feels good. But look, he doesn't go as far, Danny. So you've just said, I want to hit the ball further, but I didn't hit it further. I said, no, but the strike was good. But here's the thing, Dad. The secret to power. So once you've got that sense, now you know your destination. The problem with what you're doing, Dad, is that you're trying too hard. You're making it too wooden and you make it too deliberate. The golf swing isn't position orientated. The golf swing is feel where you need to go. Be deliberate, yes. But the next thing, and this is the key, I want you to really listen for this. The key to distance is finding a rhythm. Rhythm is distance. Let me show you. Power is not this. Power is a build-up of momentum. Listen to this. Just keep watching this. Listen to the sound. There's a build-up, isn't there? Momentum. It's feeling the rhythm. So I said to Dad, right, let's get into a routine with this. You want to maintain this radius on the come through. The lead arm and club hits the ball, but you don't put the club there. You now know where it needs to be roughly. You know where the ball needs to be. Now, as best as you can, don't be perfect with this. Let's start to find a rhythm now and a bit of I call a snap through impact. We're gonna snap to there. And I'll show you some videos of my dad working on this right now. Literally snapping through impact. The difference was amazing. Absolutely amazing, and it will be for you too. In fact, it's a great lesson for every club in the bag. Whenever you're trying to improve, remember, don't put the club in positions. Yes, feel where you need to get, but then let it rip. So I got him going, got him started doing it, and then this started to happen. suddenly the speed starts to come up. We start to hit it back longer, straighter. That is what I want for you. Get the circle intact. Yeah, keep that circle intact. When you're coming through the shot, provide room by look. Your body doesn't stay in what we call flexion. It moves to extension here. This is providing room for you to keep the circle beautifully intact on the way through from this angle, but also look, this angle here. It's also a wonderful power generator. So please, look after your circle. Enjoy the circle, get it in the right place and practice and enjoy and have fun with it, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with one of your friends. And of course, look, if you'd love to see the video that I did with my dad, check it out here. The one that we're going to be releasing with him on the driver is not out yet, but when it is, I will put that right here. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up like I say, and subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. Till next week, have a wonderful golfing week.